Hi guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you tuned in, and today I want to talk to you about how to stop caring what other people think of you. See, this topic is so obvious. It's something that actually so many INFJs struggle with, not just INFJs, but just people in general. I think this is one of our main reasons why we don't go for the things we want and, don't really take the steps to kind of like detach ourselves from those relationships and from those circumstances that give us some kind of validation. But see, for me, I've been on this road for so long, and it has been like a mind-boggling thing for my friends since like I can remember. Because for me, I was always a little different. I always followed like the beat of my own drums, and I got so much rejection throughout my life that I kind of like just became that version. And early on, like when I was working, for example, people around me were working so much more than me, felt like they have to put in so much more work, and there was me saying, I'm not gonna put in more work than that. This is what I'm willing to do. If you don't like what I'm doing, just get somebody else to do the job. This is just where I stand. And in the end, I got, a better salary than most of my colleagues who work more. I got, like everything that I wanted. Because if people don't like what I'm doing, then it's on them to tell me. But I'm not gonna make a decision for them or say like, I need you to see me in a certain light. That's why I'm doing this. So for example, let's say you have a boss and you want him or her to see you as a valuable employee. You want them to see you as, that's a smart person, that's a hardworking person, that's a person with potential. Yes, in many ways you want people to see that, so it helps us to move forward in our career, for example. But in more cases than not, the most important thing about this is we don't feel this about ourselves. We want that external validation. We want that external validation that tells us we're good enough. We want that external validation that we're good looking enough, that we're smart enough, that we're hardworking enough, that we're successful enough. And we want that validation from those people around us, right? Because there's no way other to get it. But you know what real successful people do, or people who really don't care about what other people think? They just let them think whatever they want. They know what they want to think of themselves, and then find people who actually do think that. That's the whole idea about it. Like for me, it's been so ingrained in me that I even neglected, I think, to ever having done a video on this, although it's such a big issue, and at the same time, I'm actually so experienced in that. And so I apologize, and I hope this is really gonna help you out. Okay, so no matter where you are, you have to understand you have certain expectations of who you want to be, right? And you have to realize that no matter where you are, no matter where I am at, we're not at our full consciousness, right? So our full consciousness is, aware of that we're, smart enough, that we're capable enough, that we're lovable enough, that we are all of that we want to be, right? So this version who you are right now, or it's not like a version, it's pretty much you just have blocks that keep you from seeing the real truth. And I believe we'll always have that, but you can just kind of remove those layers more and more and become more of that version. And you'll see how it just shifts. Like for me, I was able to give up everything that I was getting from my old job. Forget the money, just forget that, social status, people thinking I have an important job, I have built something up, and I was able to just leave it like that because I had already done the work before that to kind of get my mentality to a point where I didn't care. My self-image or my self-esteem was not based on what the people were thinking. That's just not how it works. It's like this. You pretend that you're living in this world where all of these people that you know are living in the same dimension as you, right? This is the dimension. So, and you're living in here, and you want in this dimension to feel like you're accomplished, for example. In order to do that, you have to get all of those people to see you as accomplished, which will never ever happen. It won't. Because every time you try to convince them to feel that you're accomplished, you're actually keeping yourself from doing those things that will make you feel accomplished. Because if you want to feel accomplished You got to ask yourself, what is it I want to do? It does not matter what these people think, but it's not something you can emotionally tell yourself. You're not there yet at that point. You have to be aware that your higher self knows this, but not your current state. So for example, let's say you have people and you want them to think that you're cool. You have people who you want them to feel that you're smart or whatever it is, and they don't. Don't waste your time trying to convince them, because that higher self that knows that you're cool, that knows that you're accomplished, wouldn't be spending any time looking at people who do not see your value and trying to convince them. You know, it's not like, you know, you need to convince those people and then you're cool or accomplished. You know, a person who's really cool and accomplished says, you know, I am what I am, I know what I do, so why in the world would I be spending any amount of my time trying to convince people that I'm great? They are not gonna get it. It's like, I'm gonna prove to him that I'm like so good looking now and everything is going great and so on. If you have that mindset, you're still in this dimension, because that person is here and you're saying like, I want them to see and validate me that I've done all that. But then you're not really feeling sexy. You're not really feeling confident, because when you do, you know that you deserve to be cherished. You deserve to be, you know, like really admired or, you know, taken care of. So you're not going to spend your time with anybody who didn't see that, who didn't like really do something about it. And even if they came back and said like, oh my God, you're so great now. How did you do it? You know, it's like, why? Like, you're not doing that for that person. You're actually doing it because your higher self is here, and here in that state, that version of yourself that knows everything that you are, you know, they're just not going to accept any kind of behavior on this matter. You have to see it like this. I have met people in my life. I have been rejected in my life so often. I have met so many people who have told me I'm not smart enough, people who have told me I'm not feminine enough, people who have told me I'm just, you know, not right in so many ways. And the solution is not to convince those people. Like, I'm sure if I would go today to those people and I would present myself, it would still be the same way, because they're still here and they're still looking at me from that perspective. And from their perspective, I am not accomplished. From their perspective, I'm still not somebody they would hang out with. I'm still somebody that they don't respect. You know, because they're here, right? I'm somewhere completely different. So you will never have what you want by convincing that person. The solution is to realize, I don't need to stay here. I'm just going to go somewhere else. So if you want people like to have like a social circle, I deserve this social circle. I deserve that respect. I deserve to, like, you know, get that kind of money that I feel I deserve without having to do anything that I don't want to do. And then you just do those things. Make sure that you go for those things that you think you deserve. That's it. And you do that by just going out there into the world, into probably an unknown territory where there's like new people, new opportunities, you know, maybe the internet, but, you know, maybe like even people outside. We all need like also human connections, no matter what it is. But in a way of, if people don't see how cool I am or how good I am, then like they don't need to be in my life. And I'm okay with being completely alone. You know, like if we really get into it, we all need some kind of human connections, but it's a matter of how much we can let go of this. I'm not saying I'm going outside and there's like complete detachment to everything. It's much better than it was 5 years ago, and I know in comparison to most people, I'm very high up there. But you know, for me, I still know there are always just layers, right? But you can really work on removing layers like this and to realize you are completely independent from all of those people around you. You can like create an interdependency with them if they give you the feeling you want to have. But if they don't give you that feeling, then they don't need to be in your life. It's easy as that. Like, why do you need somebody who tells you, well, you're stupid because you don't know how to like calculate this and that, when you're actually smart in like in an artistic way? Why would you put yourself in a situation where those people, you know, keep on telling you these things? Because you at that point still believe Your intelligence is based on the fact how good you are in math, for example. You know, but like your higher self, the real self, knows my intelligence is somewhere else. My point of genius is right here. And it doesn't have to be even something like, you know, art or math or whatever. It can be even so precise that you say, you know, I'm a complete artist, and still, like, within the artist world, there are gonna be tons of people who have no idea what I'm doing, who don't care what I do, and who don't appreciate that. But you're just not staying there. You know, it's not like those women that are in abusive relationship. It's not that the women who are not in abusive relationships are just gonna convince that guy to treat him better. They're just not gonna hang out with that guy. That's what it is, because they know they deserve better. And if we're not mentally at a point where we feel it emotionally, then we have to use really our rational brain to like really get ourselves there. And it has worked for me many times to really realize, okay, well, for example, when I quit my job, there was an emotional part of me who said, I'm gonna lose prestige. You know, I'm gonna lose my diamond status at Hilton. I was having these great like vacations and like villas with pools in Burma and like, you know, like just incredible things that were not only good for me while I was doing them, but they were also good on paper. And I was accomplished. I had created something. There was a guarantee there. So emotionally, there was still a part of me that felt, I'm giving that up. I'm giving that up. But I'm only giving that up as long as I'm in that old world. Once you're in that new world, these things won't matter. And I knew that I needed to go into the new world because there's even more potential for me. This is where my home is. This is where my like point of genius really is. This is where I can really crush it and create something even more incredible. And I had to like do the rational things to get me there. And once I was in this new world, that whole thing didn't matter at all. I mean, at all. Like, I don't even think about it. Every time I think of my old job, I just think of everything that I don't have to do anymore. And it's been one of the best decisions in my life. And I'm just so proud of myself that I dared to do it. And yeah, and this is what I'm telling my friends. This is what I'm telling my mom. This is what I'm telling you guys. Like, go for it. And realize this is just your world from your current state. Your higher self has a different state. So if you want to really get out of that state, you have to think about what would that higher self think of herself or himself? What kind of people would they interact with? What kind of situations would they put themselves in? What would they be willing to sacrifice their time for, right? So my best friend, for example, told me, it was like yesterday or something, can you just imagine a job where you don't have to do anything you don't want to do? And she said it like, oh God, this is like this utopian thing you can like dream of. And I just looked at her and I said, you know, for me, it's like you telling me, it would be so great to breathe. You know, because I'm at a state where I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And I got there because I knew my highest self won't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. Right? So I automatically just started doing things I just wanted to do. I'm getting paid for who I am, what I love to do, and things just, you know, turn out great. But you have to trust that your current state is not your eternal truth. And the people around you that you want the validation from are not the ones that should give you that validation. You know, because your higher self is not going to care about these people. And these people will still think you're a loser. You know, if I go back to my job, I really don't think that the people there will think, oh my God, she made it. I can't believe she did that. Because they're like in a complete different world. And from their point of view, I just gave up. And that's okay that they think that, because I didn't want to go that direction. I really gave up that route because that's the real route for me. That's the route that makes me happy. That's the route that will make me more money. That's the route that will make me more successful, give me bigger purpose in my life, and helps me to grow, right? So now I'm getting like my validation from completely different things than I used to. And this is with everything we do. Keep that in mind. I hope that helped you. Maybe analyze your situation right now and who you actually always want to give you some kind of feedback or validation, that you realize, well, actually my higher self wouldn't really care about their validation and would be okay if that person thought I was a loser, you know? That wouldn't be a big thing because that's just not my world anymore. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like always, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, guys. Please hit the bell. You will miss out on future videos otherwise. And if you're interested in coaching and me helping you be more consistent in life, achieving greater success in all areas, then yeah, just check out the link in the description. I wish you a great week. I love you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.